and here we go with another video on enmeshment. I am so fascinated by this dynamic, but really what I'm here to talk about, I mean, I've already talked about how fucking scary and unhealthy enmeshment is, and I can't paint it in any other way than it actually is, but what I really want to focus here is because I made a video the other day about how enmeshed people essentially, and I'm going to paint this as graphically as I possibly can. I'll use a hue with my brush that is, I don't know, the equivalent of a fucking horror story. So let's go with it. I learned recently that a lot of the people that I met in my life, and I'm not going to name any names, but the so-called intimacy, I really can't call it intimacy at all because enmeshment is pseudo-intimacy, right? People that are enmeshed, they connect, they bond around drama and gossip. It's not healthy, right? But what I've learned specifically through this dynamic of enmeshment is that a majority of my interactions with people in my life, again, no names, essentially I have been fucked by other people's shit. And so this is the fascinating thing about enmeshment. Again, enmeshment has to do with a lack of healthy boundaries, diffused boundaries. In other words, if you think about, like, you know, a cell membrane, right, that is absolutely porous. The holes are so fucking massive that you could fit your entire fucking body in there, right? So enmeshment is essentially two membranes, and in this case, when I say like two membranes, two cell membranes, I'm referring to two egos, two ego states, right? Self and other, but it doesn't work in the way that it is individual, right? Because in enmeshment, in the dynamic of enmeshment, when you are enmeshed with somebody else, there is a lack of individuation, a lack of differentiation, a lack of individuality, a lack of self, right? My shit is your shit is my shit, and that's just the reality of it. And so, another thing that I learned recently is that what I thought was genuine feelings of love in past relationships was actually enmeshment, and the pain that I experienced from those dynamics, which I associated with love, was actually just from enmeshment. Love is not painful. Love is glorious. It's wonderful. It's an incredible experience. But the horror that is enmeshment, because it actually is, right? When there are no healthy boundaries, right? When the boundaries are diffused and you take on somebody else's shit as your own, a lack of self, lack of own sense of identity and responsibility and this, that, and the other. Yeah, no, fuck that. That's not cool. It really isn't. And so, you know, like the fascinating thing, because I've really been sitting with this whole matter of, you know, other people have been fucking me with their shit. Again, I'm trying to paint this as graphically as I fucking possibly can, because like a majority of my interactions throughout my entire life have been this way with, like, friends, right? I made a video the other day which actually had to do with, you know, carrying other people's shit around, and I got graphic with it, right? People are kind of just like fucking walking vomiters, you know? Just fucking throwing their shit all over the place, all over you, right? With a lack of, hey, can you take this on? I have something that I need to talk about. I need to get it off my chest. I need to vent. No, none of that stuff. Just fucking everywhere all the time, right? And, you know, I meet people that I don't know on a daily basis. I'm not going to say for what, but I have noticed how fucking real that dynamic is, right? Literally within fucking seconds. of meeting them, I know that was really emphasized, but literally within seconds of meeting them, I know their entire fucking life story. I know how much their life fucking sucks. I know how much their day fucking sucks. I know how much they wish that they weren't here. I know, I know way too much. And that is them fucking me with their shit because there's a lack of, hey, I'm just really overwhelmed. Do you mind if, like, can I just share with, like, no, like, it's just, it's so much. And so, like, again, it's not good or bad or right or wrong, but it is unhealthy. A lot of people identify that as intimacy, right? They carry, again, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to look at everything for what it is. I think that one of the most important things that I can do for myself over the next 5 to 10 years of my life is look at everything for exactly and only what it is. Not sugarcoat it, not shine it up, not wish it were something else, as it fucking is, period, right? Because throughout my entire life, you know, I found myself in dynamics of enmeshment with people, with friends and stuff. And, you know, my mind has tried to think, well, maybe it's really this way or that way. And I'm just, no, you're seeing it for what the fuck it is. When somebody comes to you, right? And they're just, right? Who the fuck wants that? And especially if it's not a two-way fucking street, especially if you can't go fucking crazy like they just do. Who the fuck wants that? I don't want that, right? And so really the horrors, I mean, I would argue the biggest fucking horror of enmeshment is kind of like waking up decades later with, like, I don't know, a fucking existential identity crisis, believing that everything you just experienced was fucking intimacy, and then finding out that it wasn't, and that it was just nothing but fucking absurd boundary violations. That's fucking crazy. That really is. That's as good as a fucking horror show. It's as good as a horror story. Like, you know, like, it's kind of like the person finding out that they were adopted in, like, the worst fucking way possible, and their parents are actually utter pieces of shit that are, you know, narcissists that see them as an extension of themselves. Like, this is real fucking shit. It's scary to learn a dynamic, think that it's real, think that it's fucking genuine, think that it's fucking love, all to find out that you're just a fucking extension of somebody else to fucking vomit their fucking bloody ass brains all over you. Like, fuck that. Like, no. And especially when it's not a two-way fucking street. That shit fucking sucks. Yeah, enmeshment fucking sucks. I've said it many times, and I'll say it many more fucking times. And so, like, the fascinating thing is that I'm still learning healthier. I'm not even going to say healthier. I'm still learning healthy dynamics because, you know, the intersubjective space between two people, what is allowed to be there, what's not allowed to be there, the respect that takes place in that space. It's just, it's such a different game for me. You know, like, it's kind of like, here's the fascinating thing about the difference in dynamics between, like, enmeshment and non-enmeshment, or I guess you could just say enmeshment and healthy boundaries, right? Essentially, they're kind of like two different languages. Like, people are so fucking familiar and comfortable, and they feel that it is normal to be enmeshed with somebody. Again, not good or bad, right or wrong, but it is healthy versus unhealthy, right? Because, like, I mean, just to make it very clear, when you're enmeshed with somebody, if they're just, like, nonstop, and again, if you're enmeshed with them, that means that you don't have healthy boundaries. Therefore, their shit is your shit. So what is that going to mean about, what is that going to mean about somebody's emotional state? You're gonna fucking take that on as your own. Yeah, hello anxiety, hello depression. Yeah, no, that's not fun. So, when you're enmeshed with somebody and they're fucking projectile vomiting their fucking bloody murder shit at you, right? You're going to take that entire emotional experience on as your own because their shit is your shit. That fucking sucks. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but shit, that fucking sucks, right? And so, like, you know, it's fascinating because, like, you look at social situations, social dynamics, and everything. You look at social anxiety. I mean, listen, I'm not going to cookie cutter one size fits all on this shit. I'm not going to generalize this, but like, it's not for no fucking reason, and no wonder why people get social anxiety, right? A lack of healthy fucking boundaries, a lack of differentiation between self and other. What's your shit? What's my shit? What's not my shit that is your shit? What's not your shit that is my shit, right? And just like, oh my God, having the capacity to fucking trust somebody else to be able to deal with their shit on their own. Fuck. That's been fucking scarce in my life. And that sucks too, because I've experienced so little of actually being able to trust somebody else to be able to take care of their own shit on their own and not bring it to me and not be like, what do I do with this? It's so fucking annoying. It's so painful. It's like, no, just fucking deal with it on your own. Sit with the fucking pain, sit with the fucking thoughts, sit with the fucking emotions, sit with fucking everything until you fucking figure it out, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you need help, you need help, right? And that's just the fucking fact of the matter. I'm not going to invalidate that because that's real. Support is important. Help is important. But are you going to bring your shit to somebody who doesn't know what the fuck to do with it? Or are you going to bring it to a therapist who can actually guide you through the fucking process of going deep into your shit and understanding the origins and everything, right? Enmeshment is not a healthy dynamic. Enmeshment is fucking sticky. It's fucking gooey. It's fucking, diffused boundaries of forgetting where you fucking begin and where you end and where other people begin and where they end, and just being way too fucking overly responsible, overly involved in other people's lives. Fuck that.